right, today Positive Gains is back, and we've got two special guests, fresh off two episodes of Freshman Circus, Gary Miceli and Gary Mckee. Thank you guys for being on this morning.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Much for having us.
All right. So let's talk about your guys' new show, Freshman Circus. I caught both episodes, one yesterday and then the one last week. It's pretty unique, pretty diverse, and so far I feel like people can relate a lot to what you've shown so far, how so many people are different. So what was the thought process going behind that? How did you guys come up with this idea?
Mckee?
Okay, so what happened was I met Miceli through Facebook, of all places. So initially he pitched it to me as this idea of a bunch of freshmen coming together based on his experience from online learning. So at first I was like, well, it seems interesting. It seems like I'm not doing anything. I'm stuck at home for since March of last year. Yeah. So it was just this, okay, fine. Yeah, let's do it. And he allowed, at first it was just me and Jessica, who plays Miss Josephine, and two other people, Miceli. And we had two of them dropped out, and I just said, hey, let's keep going with the project. I was like, I'll write, I'll do this. It felt like it's too simple not to do, because all you needed was a computer, internet, just to record. So we just ended up writing everything and just letting the actors come up with the characters themselves. So that way it was this, it felt true to them, with staying within the confines, but also giving them the opportunity to color outside the lines and create these people that you see.
Did you want to add anything?
Well, it's like you said, I created this show. I had this idea for the show back in June. I was still in school. I was finishing up college. I was in my last semester in June or July. I was in my last semester. And when we transferred to online learning, you saw all these different characters. You didn't just see your students. You saw these people in their room, in their house, with their mom walking past, with yelling in the back. You saw who they really are. I said, I think there's something here. And then Gary Mckee said, we had a cast of people ended up dropping out. And then Gary said, let's keep going. I said, all right. And he was able to get some people. I got some people, and we were able to come together. And I think the notes I gave for everyone, me and Mckee both, were very, very basic. I said for the character of Kevin, I said, look, he has to be super thin. He has to lift weights every episode, and he has to love Joe Rogan, to an unhealthy amount. And then everything else he would just make up. But those are what I had in mind. And then Jesse Boone, who plays Kevin, took it and ran.
Yeah, and see, especially in the last episode, you start to see the frustration, with the teacher, because, high school is this, call your parents, and they'll figure it out. Whereas college is more, everybody's an adult. So now you're trying to, have everybody find their way, but not baby them at the same time. So it was funny how, Kevin, right? He was just obsessed with Joe Rogan, because there's so many different people that are, attached to being either a jock or a meathead. And then you have your people that are more in tune with the earth. And what I took from it is I could see that a lot in high school as well. But, obviously this has matured a little bit. If you can tell me, how many episodes are you guys planning on doing?
Right now, for this season, there's 8 episodes. So essentially there's 6 more. I think the season concludes around second week of March.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I realized too that this will be on Amazon. Is it video? that you're trying
Yes,
to?
we're working it out right now. It's currently in the process of being under review, since Amazon, has to take, catalog of everything that they currently have. So once we get it up there, the entire season will be there for people to binge.
Okay. So how hard was it though? Obviously you came up with the script and you guys were, communicating back and forth, but did you feel like maybe this was a little easier in the midst of a pandemic, being it, Zoom, or was this a little bit more challenging?
Well, I know Gary Mckee will agree that, this thing did have its challenges as well. I know we didn't have to get, let's say, if we were going to film this in person, we didn't have to get a crew. We didn't have to get a cameraman, a light person, a grip, a gaffer, etc. And this was all done with Zoom, but that presented its challenges as well.
Yeah, Zoom is the best way to put it is that it's a bit finicky at times. So you had to understand the how do I put it? The logistics behind it. There's, okay, do we want it all in gallery view, or do you want it in speaker view? And what can we do with the different views? Like if we put it in gallery in this episode, or how can we get the isolated audio? There are times where we had to do multiple takes. However, the upside to that was that it led us to also finding things with each take, or exploring further the characters, or there are just some takes I just said, hey, let's improv it all the way through, like past the page, past what's written. So, there maybe we'll do an outtakes thing, or where you just see the characters just continuing going on, and Miss Josephine's like, oh, screw this.
Yeah.
The class is even further out of control. So.
And so how far do you think that you guys will be able to take this? Do you think that this is the start of something that can catapult you into something else? Because it really is a great original idea, when I found out about this. So kind of where are you thinking along the lines of the future?
I think that's something. Let's just say, I'll say like two things. First thing is, I've been toying with the idea since like a week, 2 weeks ago, with extend, like playing around with added characters and just seeing. It's something concrete right now. And the other thing is, I think these characters could translate to more adventures, just depending on the audience's perception of them, how they, if there's that need for, I want to see more of Zeke or Kevin, Noah, Ingrid, so on and so forth. So, I'll hand it over to Miceli on that.
Yeah, I think, one of the reasons I wanted to do this show was I wanted to show people that you can laugh in spite of a really bad situation. When there's always darkness, there's light.
Yeah.
So I think that putting out the show and putting a comic spin on it I feel like would help some people just forget about, the news and focus on our show. And I know that we don't even mention the word pandemic or corona or virus till I think if Gary.
The thing is, it's we mentioned pandemic episode 4, and I think we mentioned COVID on episode 8, but that's as much as I'll say about episode 8.
Yeah, we don't mention it because I think Gary Mckee and I feel like they know what's happening already, so we don't need to mention it. And I think that once everything opens up, maybe the show can transition into real life again. Maybe it could transition with the world. I always thought this show might be like a time capsule as well. In 10 years, somebody could find the show randomly and say, why were they inside? Oh, and do the research. Yeah.
Okay. And so, after we've already completed the season and, this gains more traction, do you think that you'll I think you guys have kind of answered it, evolving, but do you think that you'll maybe add a couple more characters or?
I will say that I will say yes. Well, the thing is, we don't want to overstuff it, if that makes sense. So it will be a naturally organic way of adding people.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to add people just for the sake of adding people. But if something happens naturally, where his brother comes, or you see his mom, or another student, I think we could definitely play around with the idea of adding some more colorful characters in the future. But it has to happen, I think, organically.
And so when you're shooting, and you guys are going through it, obviously there can be connectivity issues, so working through that, how many episodes were you able to get done? Like as far as a time frame, like, if you guys take a day, were you shooting multiple, or was it, spread out? I mean, especially with people's schedules. So,
yeah, that was, I think once we added, once I got Noel and Jesse on board, it was because they're also working actors, so it was like you said, like, okay, let's agree on a set schedule. Really, the interesting thing is that once we got them, and once the chemistry happened, everything worked out well in terms of, we did one, 2, 3, and then we're like, okay, let's try to get through 2 a day, or not 2 a day, but it was like 2 on a weekend, so to speak. So that way it was like, we did one weekend, we did episode, we shot out of order, which was very like Hollywood. I have one weekend we shot 4 and 6. So
yeah, I think that was the last one, right?
Yeah, it was interesting because then once you see episode 4 and you're like, it's our, how do I put it? It's our craziest one up to that point, and then you get to 6 where it's the deepest one. We'll keep it at that, and I think it, as an actor myself, it was a good way to like stretch the range. Connectivity played a part of it because everyone's on the internet, everyone's home. Like, I know for me, my neighbors are like, hey, why is my internet slow? Oh, that's right, Gary's home today. And it's like, come on, so it presented those challenges. However, I'm glad that we worked them out. We figured out, like, perhaps future time frames to rehearse in. So, okay, you want to add anything, Sally, or?
No, like you said, we had a decent schedule. Most of the time we said we're going to film it this day, we're going to rehearse on this day, and it just all happened, and everyone was so great in participating and clearing their schedules, and we were able to get it done.
Okay. And so I did want to mention, we actively have a contest running, amongst the Freshman Circus, which had donated some signed posters. So I want to make sure we mention that, and I've got that running. I'm going to have people answer some trivia, nothing too hard, but just to make sure they were paying attention, to the first 2 episodes, and that'll be good. And again, I really appreciate and enjoy, exactly what you guys are doing, because it's so original, and unique. And I really think it'll take off. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys coming on today.
Well, thank you so much. And we hope you keep watching and enjoying. And yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. No, the answers can't be emailed to you, so.
Yeah. I've had some people already trying to, finagle it their way, and it's got to be legit. So, again, maybe down the road when you guys are, completed a little bit more, you guys are welcome to come back on.
Beautiful.
Anytime. And I promise you, I will have my lighting figured out. This is the worst I have had. I mean, golly, man. I mean, my headphones are all out of whack. I was prepared, but then, like I said, when I got my stuff, it just wasn't having it today. So I promise you,
it's like
back on.
Technology. What can you do?
But again, I appreciate you guys, and you're welcome back on anytime.
Thank you so much, Mike.
Awesome. Thank you.